Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news at 6 on Rajya Sabha Television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. Election Commission issues notification for Uttar Pradesh election on February 11th. First phase of polling to cover 73 constituencies in 15 districts of Western UP. Congress and Samajwadi Party all set to contest Uttar Pradesh elections together. Both parties confirm that an alliance will be announced in a day or two. Cold wave conditions disrupt normal life in northern India. Met Department predicts more snow and rains in Shimla in the next 24 hours. And Australia, Malaysia and China suspend deep-sea hunt for missing flight MH370 The Malaysia Airlines aircraft disappeared en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing in 2014 with 239 passengers and crew. Well, the Uttar Pradesh Assembly poll process kicked off on Tuesday with the Election Commission issuing a notification for the first phase of voting to be held on the 11th of February. The first phase will include 73 assembly seats spread across 15 districts of Western Uttar Pradesh. Right after the notification, various parties began filing nomination papers and the process would continue till the 24th of January. The scrutiny of papers will be held on the 25th of January and January 27th will be the last date of withdrawal of nominations. These elections are very crucial for both the BJP and BSP, who are fighting to wrest control of the state from the Samajwadi Party, which has announced an alliance with the Congress. The state is going to polls in 7 phases between February 11th and March 8th. Meanwhile, the Congress and the Samajwadi Party are all set to contest the Uttar Pradesh elections together. Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav and Congress's in charge of Uttar Pradesh, Ghulam Nabi Azad, confirmed that the alliance is in the offing. The declaration comes a day after the Election Commission granted the cycle symbol to the Akhilesh-led Samajwadi Party faction. In a related development, Samajwadi Party's Ram Gopal Yadav filed a caveat in the Supreme Court. It said that the court shouldn't pass any order on the matter of the party symbol without hearing the Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav's group.
A day after he was acknowledged as the true claimant of the Samajwadi Party's bicycle symbol, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav announced that an alliance with the Congress will be formalized soon. He also clarified that he'll take Samajwadi Party patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav along in every decision of the party. Late on Monday night, Akhilesh met his father and tweeted 3 pictures of them together with the message, "Cycle chalti jayegi, aage badhti jayegi." Meanwhile, ending all speculation, Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad confirmed that his party will fight the Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections under the leadership of Akhilesh Yadav.
At the moment, at this point of time, I am just confirming that the alliance between Samajwadi Party under the leadership of Mr. Akhilesh Singh and Congress Party is going to be there.
With Western UP going to polls in the first 2 phases on February 11th and 15th, both parties will now have to race against time to finalize seat-sharing arrangements. Mulayam Singh Yadav is also believed to have given Akhilesh a list of 38 candidates that excludes his younger brother, Shivpal Singh. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, joining me for a chat right now is our correspondent, Kriti Mishra. Kriti, what's the latest as far as the Samajwadi Party is concerned in Uttar Pradesh?
Well, Frank, Akhilesh Yadav has received a shot in the arm after Election Commission's decision. After that, he embarked upon this conflict resolution journey. He met his father, tweeted the pictures. Today, of course, he met a lot of party supporters at his official residence, which is 5 Kalidas Marg. He has decided a lot of candidates. He's busy crafting his election strategy. Remember, Frank, he had already decided 237 candidates. It was then that the family feud intensified. Mulayam Singh Yadav has also given him a list of around 38 candidates. He has very vociferously maintained that these candidates cannot be overlooked. Explicitly excluded is Shivpal Yadav, who is Mulayam's brother, but his son Aditya has been given a place in the list. Now, a lot of party insiders are telling us that Mulayam may not field his candidates in order to avert any kind of split in the party's core vote share. Mulayam may also not move any court of law. But Akhilesh's camp has exercised caution. They have moved a caveat in the Supreme Court. So the entire episode leaves us guessing whether it was an orchestrated move or it was actually a struggle for power. Frank?
Indeed, that remains to be seen. But of course, as far as the Samajwadi Party itself is concerned, you know, the last 3 or 4 months, the party has been concentrating about the saga or the feud between the father and son. And now suddenly the Samajwadi Party has to concentrate on electioneering.
Exactly, Frank. But there were experts who were constantly concentrating on election manifesto, and they'll be making smartphone, the distribution of smartphone, the key highlight of Akhilesh's manifesto. They'll also be talking about things like Lucknow Metro, Lucknow Agra Expressway, Farmers Insurance scheme, ambulance scheme. So a lot of things are on the anvil, and definitely Akhilesh's camp would be ready with all these things, and we would see them unveiling them anytime soon now. Frank?
Indeed. And the other development, of course, is the alliance between the Congress and the Samajwadi Party. We've seen overtures being made from Akhilesh Yadav and Ghulam Nabi Azad of the Congress, in fact, talking about this alliance, but no formal announcement as such has been made about an alliance in Uttar Pradesh.
Well, negotiations were on between both of these parties for a very long time. Congress was keeping a hawk-eye vigil on Election Commission's decision. Congress was also weighing its bargaining power. Now, a lot of party insiders are telling us that Congress may contest around 90 to 100 seats and Samajwadi Party on the other. But talks are also on with RLD. JDU may also pitch in. So we may see a replica of Mahagathbandhan, what we saw in Bihar, between these parties to come and align together just to keep BJP at bay. Frank?
All right, Kriti Mishra, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much for joining us there with those details and bringing us the latest from what's happening in Uttar Pradesh. Moving on now, Punjab BJP chief Vijay Sampla today denied reports about resigning from the party. Sampla reportedly met party president Amit Shah and Union Minister Tawar Singh Gehlot over ticket distribution. Earlier reports had said that Sampla offered to resign because he was unhappy with his party's list of candidates. According to sources, Sampla, a Dalit leader who is also a union minister, wanted sitting MLA from Phagwara Som Prakash to be dropped in favor of his candidate. Sampla today claimed the list of party candidates had his full support. Amit Shah is also believed to have asked Sampla to campaign for the state assembly polls that will be held on the 4th of February.
ना मैं नाराज था, ना मेरे अध्यक्ष नाराज थे। ये सब मीडिया की अफवाहें हैं और पता नहीं क्यों मीडिया को मैं तो आपके माध्यम से अपील भी करूंगा कि कम से कम मीडिया ऐसी बेबुनियाद आधारहीन अफवाहें फैलाने में जरा थोड़ा गुरेज करे। जब हम बैठते हैं सामूहिक निर्णय लेते हैं और सामूहिक निर्णय सभी की सहमति होती है और जब सबकी सहमति होती है उसमें संतुष्ट और असंतुष्ट का सवाल ही नहीं खड़ा होता।
Well, it will be a battle of the heavyweights in Punjab's Lambi constituency as Punjab Congress Chief Captain Amrinder Singh takes on Chief Minister Prakash Singh Badal in the upcoming polls. Singh has already said this will be the last election, but he is confident of beating the incumbent Chief Minister on his turf. Meanwhile, Navjot Singh Sidhu kick-started his campaign for the Congress party from Amritsar. Here's more.
The battle for Punjab will include a high-stakes tussle for the Lambi constituency, where the Congress party chief is putting himself up against Chief Minister Prakash Singh Badal. Captain Amrinder Singh is calling it his last election and says he is confident of beating Badal on his home turf.
मैं पहला ये था मेरा घर है मैं इथों सियासी जीवन अपना शुरू किया सी और इथों ही खत्म करूंगा मेरी लास्ट इलेक्शन है उत्थे मैं ओदे बंदा बनाना उन्होंने बस इतना फर्क है वो जेड़ा बंदे ने लुट लिया पंजाब जेड़े बंदे ने तबाह करता पंजाब उन्हां नूं सबक सिखाना पਊਗਾ।
The former Punjab Chief Minister is also fighting from the Patiala constituency, where he is up against the former Army Chief General J.J. Singh, who is contesting on a Shiromani Akali Dal ticket. Asked about who is the chief ministerial face of his party, Amrinder Singh says the Congress president will decide the issue.
सर तुसी सीएम कैंडिडेट हैगे मतलब एज ए
I don't know that is Congress president का decision. I am actually sometimes very surprised. We have had Field Marshal Karyappa, we have had General Sharinagesh as our chiefs, we have had General Timaya as our chief, Field Marshal Manekshaw, फिर आगे JJ सिंह थे। कित्थे जा रही है फौज साडी कित्थे जा रहा है मुल्क?
I grew up here. My roots are here. My ancestors came here. My maternal parents' house is still here, which is my permanent residence, as I've given in my books. And therefore, he says, I have nothing to do with this place. I think He doesn't know anything of Patiala himself. How long has he spent? He studied in Doon School and other schools outside. He did not stay in Patiala. He also has stayed more outside in Delhi and other places, Dubai, London and other places than here. So he has no right to say that I don't know much about Patiala.
New Congress entrant Navjot Singh Sidhu also kick-started his campaign with a roadshow in Amritsar. The former BJP MP once again attacked the ruling party and the Badal family.
ਪੀਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਇਸ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੇ ਸੱਚ ਹੱਕ ਤੇ ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਸਥਾਪਨਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਦੁਸ਼ਟਾਂ ਦਾ ਵਿਨਾਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਗਲਾਵਾਂ ਫੜ ਕੇ ਝੰਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਹੱਕ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦਾ ਹੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਲੜਾਈ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਤਾਉਣਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਹੈ, ਹਰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨੂੰ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਅਤ ਨੂੰ ਹੈ, ਆਪਸੀ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੈ, ਏਕਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਇਕੱਠੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਜੇ ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਇਕੱਠੀ ਹੋਗੀ ਕਿ ਸੁਣ ਬਣ ਗਈ ਸਮਝ ਲਓ।
Wednesday is the last day for filing nominations in Punjab. The state goes to elections for the 117 assembly seats on February 4th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, less than 6 months after she ended her 16-year-long hunger strike, Irom Sharmila is now trying to change things in a different way. Her recently launched Praja Party will be a contender in this year's assembly polls. While repealing of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act is her main election plank, her associates also want to raise the issue of corruption and unemployment. However, experts believe her entry into the poll arena has been quite late. This year's assembly polls in Manipur will see activist Irom Sharmila's Praja Party as a contender. Sharmila, who has been a mascot of Manipur against alleged atrocities of armed forces in the insurgency-prone state, is trying to adopt a new strategy to attract the masses.
We don't believe in grand shows or grand rallies just to give a very fake buzz about mobilization. We are going door-to-door campaigning. We're sharing our pamphlets with each and every voter that we meet.
Praja Party is focusing on the youth of the state, with almost 40% of the electorate in Manipur between the ages of 18 and 25. These are the youth who are either part of the insurgency movement or are affected by it.
Our first agenda, obviously, is to repeal AFSPA from Manipur. Second thing is Manipur is probably the most corrupt state in India. So we want to get rid of corruption. Or at least voice the discontent of the people that we are fed up of corruption. That's the second thing. The third thing, and very important thing, is that Manipur is a very diverse state, and all the ethnic groups and communities, their voices also need to be heard.
The party also wants to address issues like ethnic conflict and disparity in development between the hills and plains. They are also trying to give a regional overtone to the campaign.
We need a political party that would fight for the interest of Manipur, our domestic interest, and not listen to dictates coming down from New Delhi. And we want the people to say, it's time that we take our own decisions in our own hands.
Days before the elections in the state, the party is finding it tough to collect funds. It will be interesting to see how Irom Sharmila impacts voters in the highly polarized state. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha Television. Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Ghatam, one of the oldest and most unique percussion instruments of southern India. You can play it not only with your fingers, but palms, wrists and heels as well. You'll be surprised, but the air inside the Ghatam reverberates, creating the musical notes. 5 elements of nature, earth, water, air, fire and space, make up the composition of this beautiful musical piece, which has found an apt place in most of the ancient books.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervor dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha Television.
Gyan Chopper is the ancient version of Indian snakes and ladders. This intriguing game was popular among the old, the young, and the rulers as well. The chopper has its origin in the Jain philosophy. It tells the story of virtue, symbolized by the ladders, rewarded, while the vices shown by the snakes are punished. Each square, in turn, also narrates some message of wisdom.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, cold wave conditions continue to disrupt normal life in the northern part of the country, even as the Met Department predicts more snow and rainfall in Shimla over the next 24 hours. Western disturbances could dip the temperature further. Here's more.
Cold wave conditions continue to prevail over most part of North India on Tuesday. The national capital woke up to a cold and windy morning with the minimum temperature settling at 6 degrees Celsius, one notch below the season's average. Although rail traffic was affected due to the weather, flight operations were normal as there was no fog at the IGI airport.
ज़्यादा गलन हो रही है और बहुत ठंडी पड़ रही है।
यार बर्फबारी हुई है इधर जम्मू कश्मीर की तरफ और ठंड तो होना ही चाहिए।
ठंड अब की बार बहुत ज्यादा पड़ रही है। हम 15 दिन से बाहर थे, अब आए हम दिल्ली में। अब 15 दिन में जब एकदम आए हम यहाँ तो बहुत ठंड लगी है।
Meanwhile, the Kashmir Valley received fresh snowfall overnight, with the Srinagar-Jammu National Highway remained closed for the second consecutive day on Tuesday. Efforts to clear the highway are underway. Residents faced a tough time as snow disrupted power supply and caused water to freeze in the pipelines. Uttarakhand, on the other hand, faced problems as heavy fog reduced visibility to barely a few meters.
परेशानी तो बहुत परेशानी होती है जी, ठंड भी है, दुनिया भर की जैसे सुबह आने जाने के लिए भी दिक्कतें होती है। ठंड में गिरने का, फिसलने का, काम करने भी काफी दूर जाना पड़ता है।
कोहरे के कारण बहुत सारी दिक्कतें रही, विजिबिलिटी बहुत है, बहुत कम दिखाई दे रहा है और पास की बहुत ही नजदीक का नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है। उससे क्या नाम है, व्हीकल चलाने में बहुत परेशानी हो रही है, व्हीकल टकराने की नौबत आ रही है।
Meanwhile, the Meteorological Department has predicted more snow and rain in parts of Shimla over the next 24 hours, with western disturbance affecting weather in the western Himalayas. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, here's a roundup of the other national news in our segment Nationwide. The centre has asked the state governments to avoid using sketches, photos or logos of Mahatma Gandhi on places that could be considered dirty. The advisory was issued so that no sentiments are hurt while implementing the Swachh Bharat mission. The circular follows a case filed in a Chhattisgarh court against the use of photos of Gandhi on walls of public toilets and other filthy places. The Delhi High Court on Tuesday sought the Home Ministry's response to its notice on alleged poor quality food being served to Jawans along the LOC. A BSF soldier had complained about the bad quality of food on social media. Notices were also issued to the Border Security Force, Central Reserve Police Force and other security forces seeking their stand on the allegations. Jammu and Kashmir Opposition National Conference staged a walkout from the State Assembly on Tuesday, alleging that the state government had failed to provide power supply to snowbound areas across Kashmir. The state government, however, maintained that 80% of power supply was available in Kashmir Valley. Moving on to some international news now. A man believed to have killed 39 people on New Year's night at an Istanbul nightclub confessed his crime after the Turkish police arrested him in a massive operation. Police said that the fingerprints of the man identified as Abdul Gadir Masharipov matched with those found at the club. Dozens of people had been detained in connection with the attack, for which the Islamic State has claimed responsibility, saying it was revenge for Turkish military involvement in Syria. Abdul Qadir was arrested along with 4 others in Istanbul on Monday. Citizens of India, Israel, France, Tunisia, Lebanon, Belgium, Jordan and Saudi Arabia were among the victims, and dozens others were also injured.
Abdul Qadir Masharipov, kod adı Ebu Muhammed Horasani Abdülkavi, Özbekistan doğumlu, 1983 Özbekistan doğumlu bir kişi.
Well, here's a roundup of the other international news in Global Buzz. The fate of the de facto head of South Korea's Samsung Group, Lee Jae-yong, hangs in balance as a court deliberates on whether he should be arrested for bribery in a corruption scandal that has engulfed President Park Geun-hye's administration. Investigators questioned Lee for hours last week as a suspect in the scandal. Lee, who has denied any wrongdoing, is also accused of embezzlement and perjury. Well, the deep-sea hunt for the missing Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 has been suspended. The aircraft disappeared en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing on March 8, 2014, carrying 239 passengers and crew members. Officials said that the decision was taken after the plane could not be located in the 120,000 square kilometer search area across the southern Indian Ocean. At least 5 people were killed and 15 others injured when a gunman opened fire at a nightclub in Mexico's Playa del Carmen resort during an EDM festival. Officials said that a Canadian, an Italian and a Mexican were among the dead. But the shooting is not being investigated as an act of terrorism. US Secretary of State John Kerry on Monday said that President-elect Donald Trump had been wrong to criticize courageous German leader Angela Merkel, calling his remarks inappropriate. Trump, who will be sworn in as US President on Friday, had earlier in a joint interview said that he respected Merkel but criticized her stance on refugees, which allowed a wave of more than 1 million refugees into Germany. Well, let's shift focus now and bring you up to date with the latest from the world of sports in Sports Beat. World number 2 Novak Djokovic launched his bid for a second, or rather record 7th Australian Open title with an impressive win over Fernando Verdasco. The Serb beat his Spanish opponent 6-1, 7-6, 6-2. Rafael Nadal also eased into the second round with a straight set 6-3, 6-4, 6-4 victory over Germany's Florian Mayer, while third seed Milos Raonic advanced with a comfortable victory over Germany's Dustin Brown. In the women's singles, world number 2 Serena Williams progressed to the second round with a straight sets win over Swiss teenager Belinda Bencic. Serena, who is attempting to win a record 23rd Grand Slam singles title, won 6-4, 6-3. Former world number 1 Caroline Wozniacki also advanced to the next round after beating Australian Arina Rodionova in straight sets. Ex-Manchester United and Netherlands manager Louis van Gaal has announced his retirement from coaching after a 26-year career. The 65-year-old has been out of work since being sacked by United after winning the FA Cup in May 2016. He also had spells in charge of Ajax, Barcelona and Bayern Munich. The Dutchman made the announcement after receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Dutch government for his contribution to the sport. That's it for this edition of the newscast. Have a good evening.